Welcome to Out Loud with Rob and Rachel. This is what happens when two ADHD brains come together and think out loud.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Out Loud podcast with Rob and Rachel. We changed the name of our podcast, and
I love it.
yeah, it's no longer
Very apropos.
because we might not be talking about things that are just strictly EB, just gonna kind of, talk about various things and see what happens with it.
We've discovered that we have very interesting conversations that most people might not be able to follow if they don't. Especially
on text thread.
Yes. Yeah. I don't even follow them sometimes.
No.
I have to ask, wait, what? What did that mean and where did it go? What happened with it?
And what Rachel does very kindly, she just does LOL when she's totally lost, so she doesn't make anybody feel bad.
Sometimes I do a question mark here and there.
Yeah,
I do. If I really can't answer the question and I know LOL is not going to fit, I have to put a little, question mark emoji.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting dynamic, to say the least.
Right. Absolutely.
And I've learned so much since I joined Eyes on EB. It's been eye-opening, to say the least, about a lot of things.
Right.
And when thinking about things that you and I just discuss on an everyday basis, I started to think about the fact that my high school reunion, you and I are the same age.
Yeah.
People who don't know that, we're the exact same age, grew up in towns, right near each other. Although you lived in East Brunswick,
I did.
But didn't go to school in East Brunswick. My 35th reunion is next week. I turn 53 tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's I'm treating myself to a spa day, so
nice.
I deserve it. I deserve it.
That's good.
But my reunion started me thinking about the word popular. So when talking about unscripted topics, I want to drop that on you. When you hear that word, popular, I know people are going to sing the Wicked song, pop, but what do you think of? What does that mean to you?
The first thing that comes to my mind is people that I probably wouldn't get along with.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes.
So okay, so why? Tell me why.
Because I think a lot of popular people are looking for some type of validation, and they're not, and there's no evidence of this actually happening.
Whatever we discuss is of our own opinion. There is very often no science behind it, so please know that.
Because a lot of the popularity doesn't come out of, I think, of doing good things. I think a lot
altruism.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's coming because they're either annoying or they create a lot of friction or something like that. Not all the time, but most of the time.
So in your high school, what was popular? Like what? So that's what I think of. When I think of high school, when I think of the word popular, I always think of school. I'm in school right now. I'm always in school. I'm never in a classroom, I say. And that word popular is just something that kids always talk about.
Right.
And I'm learning with my kids who are 14 right now that popular means something different than it meant when I was in school. So I'm curious to know from your high school, from your school district, your town, who were the popular kids? What did they look like?
Well,
and I don't mean physically. I
full
mean,
disclosure, I was homecoming king. I was the homecoming king.
That's an interesting.
And I had a scepter. And not only that, I was also prom king.
Don't they go hand in hand usually?
No, they don't have to.
I see. I don't even know. That'll show you
homecoming king,
what I wasn't part of because I don't even know.
Homecoming king, you drive around the football field during homecoming day in a limo. And then prom king, it's another election. It's a popular. But here's the thing with me.
It's a popularity contest.
But I probably said 10 words in high school. I was very shy. I was not part of
You were a big sports person?
Silently. Yeah. I was. There's a book up there. What about dibs or something? I think I showed you. Mm-hmm. My parents thought I was autistic when I was younger because I never talked. You know what I mean? So I was not a popular kid, but I was tall. I was 5'6" in 6th grade.
Okay.
I was 6 foot in 7th, 8th grade. So
you think that
absolutely
set you apart?
Well, it brought attention to me.
And for your case, it was positive attention.
It was very
then.
positive. Yeah, it was very, it was very positive. And the fact that I was a good athlete was positive, you know, because, and believe it or not, I was a nice kid.
Well, I'm not surprised by. I'm not.
No,
so
so I think people respected that. And I always stuck up for the bully. So that kind of made me, I stuck up.
And you were more imposing, which definitely helps if you're sticking up for bullies. That's another thing too.
Right. When you're a kid, people think because you're tall, you're strong.
Right. Exactly. Honestly, it's true though. They do. I mean, it's just whether it's true or not. That's definitely an assumption.
But I wasn't part of the popular crowd. And the popular crowd when I was in high school, to answer your question, is that they were the drinkers and the drinkers, the partiers. And yeah, it's just the people who kind of kept up with the trends, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it was the same thing in East Brunswick, I guess. You couldn't put me in a box in high school. I wasn't in one group. I was friends with people who were nice to me. And that's how I judged people, not by what group they were in. I didn't play sports, so I didn't have a group from there. And quite frankly, I didn't really socialize with people inside of East Brunswick High School. My girlfriends were from East Brunswick, but my guy friends did not go to East Brunswick High School. So I wasn't at really town parties or anything.
Either was I.
Yeah. So I didn't know. I mean, I knew who the popular kids were. I know them. I still can close my eyes and I can picture those groups and I can picture the different cliques and the jocks and the whatever you wanted to call them back then. I don't even remember. But it's funny that it's changed now a little bit. Okay. So I brought it up. I actually didn't bring it up to my kids. I was listening while they were having a conversation. My kids are 14, twins and girls. And they were talking about, and they said, oh, well, she's popular now. And I literally first said, what does that mean? What does that mean? Tell me right now, what does that mean? Right. Tell me what it means, because I need to know what makes this person now popular. When last year they weren't.
Right.
Well, it's who they hang out with. Okay, obviously, there's always a popular group, but what signifies the popular group? It's the group that gets the most attention in the school. Okay. Not in a good way, though. Right. That's the interesting change, I think.
Is it, though?
Well, okay.
Is it a change?
Here's why. I'll tell you why I say it's a different change, because I think that what they're talking about is behavior towards like teachers in school and class and that kind of thing. Oh, wow. Like they're really disrespectful, and that's what makes them popular.
Okay.
Whereas, I don't think that the kids in the popular group when I was growing up were like,
no, they weren't
assholes to the teachers. You know what I mean? Or I mean, maybe a couple of them. I mean, I do have I can definitely close my eyes and think of some really messed up stories in school, but not on a regular basis. Although maybe I was just not in tune to it because I didn't care about anybody there really that much.
Maybe.
I mean,
East Brunswick was always a little different. I mean, I think we talked about it before, but I grew up in Monroe, and the way Monroe was at the time, we had 200 people in our graduating class. We all went to the same kindergarten.
700, yeah.
We all went to the same kindergarten. Every grade, we were together from 5th grade. So there was no BS in each other. We knew where each other lived. Everybody was on the same economic level. There weren't rich kids, there weren't poor kids. It was just middle class. Yeah, middle class.
So that took that whole aspect of it out of the equation, which then sort of leveled a playing field.
Yeah, even to this day, to be perfectly honest, because we all know where we came from. We all came from the same thing, and we're like brothers and sisters.
That's a really interesting.
Because what's always interesting about East Brunswick with the adults is like the OGs of East Brunswick, they all fight. They don't get along. Where in Monroe, we'll stick together regardless of our political affiliation or what we're brothers and sisters to this day. I mean, everybody likes everybody. Like
that's sad. That's sad to me. That's interesting because, wow, okay.
Yeah, and everybody gets along.
So how do you think that? Wow, that's actually very cool though for your town.
Yeah, it was.
But I think, don't you think, though, that your small graduating class lends itself more to that than my gigantic
Yeah, absolutely.
class? I literally don't know all of the kids that I graduated.
Yeah, I know
I don't.
I know everybody's first, last name, even the kids'
I mean,
name.
that does make a difference.
And what's funny now, too, is like a joke in a small circle in Monroe. The reason why I was homecoming king is because they felt sorry for me.
Wow. Do you really think that?
No,
It was a pity vote?
No, definitely wasn't a pity vote, but it was like, it was like he deserves it because he's a quiet guy. Like they knew me since all these people knew me since 5th grade. So it's where I don't think the same thing could happen in East Brunswick because there's so many elementary schools.
Right, it can happen in East Brunswick.
Right,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You're absolutely.
So you develop a respect, I guess, or something, or I was like a safe place for people. Yeah, for sure.
I definitely think that East Brunswick, the way that it's structured, doesn't lend itself right off the bat to that.
Yeah.
Because you come from these segregated smaller schools, and segregated, I don't mean it in a bad word, but I mean just you don't see the other children unless maybe you play soccer or, you're in Cub Scouts or, Daisies or some sport that brings you all together, or your religious facility.
Yeah.
But aside from that, if you don't live in the same vicinity of that elementary school, you don't socialize with those kids, which isn't that where, like, I remember at one of the questions said that if, that the way that they redistricted, some of these kids live across the street from each other, but they can't go to the same schools. So it's like, it's a flip on both sides. Like,
how is it in East Brunswick with all the different schools? If they're popular at one point, then do they become unpopular?
Well, no. So here's it's interesting. So when I was growing up, it was very different because Hammersholt and Churchill were both junior high schools for 7th and 8th grade. So we were actually rivals. So we played, and each one had a football team. I think a football team definitely had a soccer team. So we played each other and other surrounding towns until my 9th grade, when they brought, which is what now they have 7th, 8th, and 9th into Churchill.
Okay.
I mean 8th and 9th into Churchill. Now it's changed. But what they did until they redistricted this whole entire thing, they had 8th and 9th in Churchill, 6th and 7th in Hammersholt, and K to 5 in the elementary schools. It's interesting because when we came together, it gave us a year before we entered high school where we were 9th grade, but we could meet each other a little bit like in a softer landing sort of than if we had all been thrown together in high school. So it's different from my perspective because those two, the Churchill and Hammersholt, came together in 9th grade for me.
Right.
If we were smashed together in high school for the first time, or even in 6th grade, I think that's really daunting. So I don't know how they would have affected the popular.
Yeah.
I think it was softer when we came together.
Right.
Yeah.
So what else did your kids say about it? What makes people popular? Like what?
That they're loud, that they get in trouble, that they want attention no matter whether it's negative or positive. So it's not.
How about social media? Did they mention that at all?
My kids don't have social media. I won't let them.
Oh, so you.
They can watch YouTube. They can sometimes watch TikTok, but they don't. They're not allowed to post, and they don't follow. Like I won't. They never had Snapchat. They don't have Facebook. They don't have any of that. Instagram. None of that because I won't.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
My kids are freshmen in college now, and my one son used to say, "Why do people try so hard to be popular?" Like it was just a curious thing for him. Yeah,
that's what I mean. My kids, my kids don't. They're not turned on by that. Like that's not something that they aim to aim to be.
Right.
So it's not impressive to them. They actually don't understand. Same thing. Like they don't understand why doing something why you would purposely do something bad to get negative attention. Like that's something foreign, especially to one of my daughters.
Yeah, probably because you give them enough attention at home. They don't need that.
Could be, yeah. I mean, one of my daughters is very, like she just does. She's a rule follower, so she doesn't understand why somebody would purposely go out of their way to break the rules and just kind of see what happens.
Yeah,
that's so foreign to her. So she doesn't. She's not. They're just not impressed by that.
Yeah. So being a jerk gets them attention.
Yes,
the
yes, that's
popularity,
what it's
attention.
shown.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I've seen firsthand that some of these kids, it's not even just the kids they're jerks to. Like it translates into they don't stop there. Like it's the adults that they also don't have respect for. So,
right.
Which I think that's a difference between now and back then.
Absolutely.
I really do.
Oh, that's definitely a
I think
difference.
that the bullying's always been there. I think that kids have always been assholes to each other, without a doubt. And I think that, popular's always been popular, and there's always been, right, I hate to say it, the nerds that have been picked on and bullied and all of that stuff. But I think it's that lack of respect for the adults in the room.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Changed so much.
Yeah, I think so too. Because I remember I used to get on my friends' kids all the time, and I think they appreciate it now being 18. A 7th grade, they used to call me bro. And I was like, I'm not your effing bro.
Right. I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend.
Yeah.
I'm not your friend.
I'm not your
I'm not here to be your friend.
Yeah, yeah.
I know.
And I think they kind of appreciate it now because they like me now. And I was always like, don't call me your bro.
Yeah,
like your bro.
It's right. There's a time and a place, and now is not either.
Yeah.
And there's a respect.
Yeah.
There's a level of respect that I do think is gone.
Yeah.
I see it in the classroom also. Definitely.
I know for me as a child, especially with my coaches. So a lot of my moral compass came from my coaches or and a couple other people in my life, in my family, but I didn't want to disappoint people. And I think that's gone too. Not across the board, but I think with the popular kids, like they're okay with disappointing. I never want to disappoint my teachers.
Yeah.
Like people we respected authority.
Yes, right.
A little bit more.
It's very interesting. I just had this conversation with somebody about how their child is always on Roblox or whatever, and the child is always finding ways to get around the boundaries that the parents are laying out. And I had to kind of turn around and be like, well, that's the problem. It's not the Roblox that's the problem. Like, it's the fact that the child doesn't care that they're getting around the rules.
No, I got you.
Where's the respect, right? Like, where's the relationship that's making your child feel even like the littlest bit of guilt that they're like sneaking.
Right. Yeah. It's funny you say that because I guess I was a little bit more of a liberal parent as far as games and technology. My kids had it very young, and they have a great relationship with it, which is interesting too. Meaning they don't really post, they don't get in trouble. They show me stuff that's outrageous that other people are doing once in a while.
Yeah, it's responsible.
But even the one played Grand Theft Auto, but he was always the cop.
Okay.
He goes, Dad, when I play, I'm like, he just told me that. I never even knew this the other day because I'm always the cop. I'm always the police officer.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because he, out of the blue, he came up, I might want to be a police officer. I was like, where the hell did this come from? And it was like, well,
Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, like he was always the police officer.
That's so cool.
Yeah, isn't that cool? So,
see, there's a good part of Grand Theft Auto, I guess.
I guess so.
I don't know. My kids, I think my kids have a pretty good relationship with technology as well. I think my kids were pandemic kids that at a really bad time.
Right.
So I think that became unfortunately their play date. It actually kept them social during the pandemic, quite frankly, because my kids used to have like Roblox play dates. Like they would FaceTime their friend and they would play while they were, and that was like a big deal for them when they couldn't see each other in person.
Right.
So, good, bad, or, for good, for bad, for ugly, that helped my kids for a while. And so coming off of that now, like what's left of it, there's a little bit of an addiction to Roblox. However, I think they have also a pretty good, because my kids do their work for, you know what I mean? Like, are they on it too much? Yeah. But I'm on social media also. So I almost feel like, how can I kind of, it's like people in glass houses shall not throw stones.
Yeah.
So.
No. And my perfect day is at the beach looking at my phone all day.
Yeah. For me, it's not an all, well, it's a lot, but it's not all day. But I don't have a very long attention span for many things. So TV is hard for me unless I'm really, well, that goes back to the ADHD that we talk about in our intro, that it needs to be quick. It needs to be engaging. It needs to be like, so there's very few shows or even, well, I don't really love computer games, but that would draw my attention for too long. And that's why I think I like social media, because it is
it's good. It's
short and quick. And
my one son too, going back to the popularity, because we get off track. I'm going to reel it back in a little bit.
Go for it. It happens all the
So
time.
there were times that he had like this one really good, solid friends. I mean, they were like brothers, and all of a sudden the kid disappeared, and a couple other kids. But this particular son, he has a big friend network, like very large, and always somebody to hang out with. One of those things. Is very lucky with that. And I was like, whatever happened? Because out of the blue, I'd be like, whatever happened to so and so?
Right.
At one point, we're going to move right next door to us, right? And I'm not going to say the nickname that he would call these types of people.
Okay.
But they became popular. And they just disappeared out of his life.
Social climbers?
No, something worse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll bleep it. I'm going to bleep it out.
Okay.
Yes, that's gonna get bleeped out.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just a nickname back then that they used to call.
Got it. Okay.
And I was like, but it was
he just disappeared.
Just like, I'm talking close.
Yeah.
Just the certain kids became more focused on being popular than having relationships. I think friendships. Yeah, like doing things just to be relevant.
To be relevant in the mix, in the whatever it is, whatever makes you in that moment. That's what they do. I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Adults
do that
don't
too.
change, do they?
we talk about this a lot. It's so Rachel and I we talk a little bit about like the status quo, and I always try to explain to people what Eyes on EB has always been from the very beginning. It has been something where before Rachel was on the board, I never really cared about the status quo because I never trusted the status quo.
I don't care about the status quo. I never did.
And so I always questioned the status quo. And that was what Eyes on EB started out as more of a watchdog group.
Okay.
It's like, okay, you're saying everything's great, then how come I can't get out of my driveway or get to Lowe's under 30 minutes, right?
Took my okay. I'm gonna let you finish because I don't want to interrupt you, but I have a thought on that.
So but I also like to, and obviously you do too, is raise awareness of some of the people that are doing awesome things that don't get the credit because they don't pat themselves on the back, align themselves with the status quo, and a lot of the good work that they were doing kind of goes ignored a little bit, and they're fine with it being ignored.
Right.
But I think that's what we.
I
don't know if it's the misfits. What are we going after?
We are the island of the misfits.
Yeah.
The misfit toys, right?
And I think we talk about a lot how there's the status quo, then there's this new group of people who are trying to be the next status quo, and it's just, for me, it's just funny. It's an interesting dynamic to see. Did we discuss we weren't going to talk about this? No. Okay.
No, I like to say I'm a no drama mama. Like, I don't like drama. I didn't like drama in high school. I don't have time for drama. I don't have the bandwidth for drama. And I'm going to call you out on your drama, like point blank, if it affects my world. Like, that's the thing. Like, you can have your drama over there.
I got you.
You can have your drama over there. You can have your drama over there. But if your drama touches me, I have a problem with it.
No, that's a fair. That's your fair.
Right? I mean,
because you're certainly not shy.
No, I'm not shy. I'm not shy.
And some people might be laughing at what you just said, that you don't like drama. That could be.
But I don't.
No, but the way you explained it was good.
If you ask any one of my friends I keep my circle very, very small on purpose. People may think I know a lot of people. I don't really know a lot of people.
Neither do I.
Stay to myself. I pick and choose what I get involved in, but I am the person who says out loud what people are thinking in their heads. And I've always been that way. My first principal, I used to say to me, one time, I'll never forget it. He said, "Why do you come into my office like a hurricane? I don't understand it." And I've learned as I've gotten older to rein that in. Like, I've definitely gotten better with that. I've matured. I've picked my battles. Life has gotten in the way and taught me that you don't sweat a lot of the small stuff. So But when it comes to morals and ethics, I have a problem.
Right. No,
I really do. Like, I have a problem. And I would never, ever ask people to do something that I would never expect myself to be or do. So that's what bothers me.
Rachel's very good at holding people accountable, because a lot of Catholics and Christians would say, like, what would Jesus do? Now I say, what would Rachel say? Every time I post something, I'm like, what will Rachel say?
Because
am I going to get yelled at?
I believe that there's a, like, you have to model. You have, like, we have kids that are watching. I'm a single parent, and I have 2 girls, and I want to make sure that I, with all due respect, don't raise assholes.
No.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I agree.
I say to them all the time, and I use things. I'm going to call out the social media post today, the sign. I'm going to go there. I'm going there.
The Quinn
right
state.
now. I'm going there.
Whatever it was.
Because I think it was disgusting, whoever it was that did this. And it really bothered me. No matter what you think about anybody, and I'm not endorsing anybody. I'm not saying I like or dislike anybody who's running for Board of Education. What I am saying is that children are watching. And I will always say that. I spend my life trying to teach children to be good people and productive members of society.
Yeah.
When the parents and the adults in the room have a hard time being that, it's really makes our job so hard.
Right. Yeah.
I have to use that as a teachable moment for my kids and say, you're going to see these signs. This is what you don't do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
This is what you don't do.
And what's funny is a lot of people who go underneath the umbrella of unity in general are some of the most decisive people in town, which is interesting, right? They say the right things, but they don't behave. And not that I've been an angel my whole life.
It's
you know what
divisive
I mean? Yeah.
with a semantic shield.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes across as though it's forever. Yes, it's divisive. No matter what way you split it, it's divisive. And I just think that, didn't we write, when morals and ethics are out the window, does your cause still, is it like, if you throw morals and ethics out of the window just because you think you're right about something, does it still keep you right? Like, are you still right? Yeah. I don't know. No, you kind of lose credibility in my eyes.
No, you do. And what's interesting too is how the status quo they really hate when you use their words against them.
Well, because I don't think they hear themselves a lot of times.
And most of the
friction... they say it in their echo chambers where nobody's going to repeat it in a negative light. And then when they hear it back, they realize it may not have sounded
right
or landed as well as it could.
A lot of the friction that I've caused, especially locally, all I did was use their words against them with proof. There might have been a couple things that I crossed the line on, and I can admit that, but people don't like
hearing their words.
It really bothers them, and you'll become the person who's stirring the pot.
Yes, I'm used to that. I am the person.
These are your words. You said this. And the one thing I hate about anything, especially politically, is when people tell me that what I'm experiencing isn't really happening.
Gaslighting?
You like gaslighting.
That's the definition of gaslighting.
Yeah.
People are really good at gaslighting. Really good at
it. I'm living it.
Right.
But
see, that's back to it took my mother, my 84-year-old mother, who's not supposed to drive in the dark, by the way.
Right.
I was at class the other day. She had to go pick up dinner for my children. She didn't realize the Riders Lane debacle.
Mm-hmm.
It took her an hour to get from my house to Wendy's on Riders Lane and back to my house. And it was dark when she got back, and she's not supposed to drive in the dark.
Oh, wow.
So that was like a really big deal. That was a really big deal. So it's not just like funny, social media pranks. Like, it's like a big deal.
Going back to the traffic, the funny thing is that I think some of the status quo got word or upset with me.
Oh.
But it's funny, when I talk about the traffic, like in the blogs, I'm not necessarily blaming anything.
No, it's just pointing things out.
The quality of life has declined, and don't tell me that it hasn't. Like I'm living it.
Right. And I think that I hear what people are saying when they're saying that, people asked for Route 18 to be worked on while the New Brunswick part was being worked on, and the Old Bridge parts, they wanted to know when East Brunswick was being worked on. And that may very well be true. And I imagine that that's extremely frustrating for the powers that be, for people to flip-flop like that, right? And for them to have to kind of say, well, hey, you asked for this and now you're complaining. But I think, at least from my perspective, I think the issue is that it's all happening at literally the exact same time.
Yeah.
So this little town, there's nowhere to go. And I lived up in Bayonne for 8 years, and I don't know if you're familiar with Bayonne. So it's literally, there's like 2 ways to get out. Literally.
Yeah, like LBI.
And if one of those, so when I was living there, they were redoing the Bayonne Bridge. Okay, so that
they were raising it.
That eliminated that entire aspect of it. You couldn't use it. At certain times, it was completely closed. And the Newark Bay Extension, literally, I've been teaching in Hudson County for 23 years. I think the Newark Bay Extension has been under construction for 23 years.
Wow.
It might be finished now, or most of it is finished, but it was a very long time. So I got away from that on purpose.
Right.
I remember I literally, when my kids were really little, I was invited to a very dear friend at the time, her daughter's like christening when you're born, right? Is that a christening? And she lived up in Woodridge or somewhere up there, not far from, about an hour from Bayonne. Yeah. I never was able to get out of, I missed the entire thing. By the time I got up there, because I never was able to get out of Bayonne, they were finishing dinner and they packed something up for me, and I turned around and I went back. So I moved from a high, like congested city type place to get away from that, so that I can get to and from places in 5 minutes and get parking and not have to worry about all of those things. And I feel like it's a nightmare right now. And I understand what he's saying, but it's happening all at once.
I think what people are frustrated about, the different parts of government, county, state, federal, speaking to each other.
Saying.
And what happened?
Happening all at once.
One of the jobs miraculously got done quicker, right? After the blog post from Eyes on EV. It's funny, going back to your mother with the driving, I didn't even think about older people with all the construction. Wait till your daughter start.
Right, not yet. No, they have 3 years. Well, they have a while, so I think I have to wait. Hopefully it'll be done by then. Maybe if it's not, that's a pretty bad measuring stick.
Because that was what I was worried about. Every time it was like that, somebody got hit on Summer Hill Road on a motorcycle. You always check
the e-bikes.
No, it was somebody got on a motorcycle.
Oh, that was by Irwin. Yes,
there's someplace. Yes. But I was like
Spotswood. That poor boy.
I was like. Hoping it wasn't my son hitting him with all this bullshit getting around with the traffic.
It's really.
But new drivers too. So it's old drivers too. I didn't even think about them because it's confusing.
It is confusing. And if you get rerouted and you don't know the signs and stuff like that, it can really throw somebody off.
Yeah.
Absolutely can throw people off. I have to think about, thank God, not both at the same time, the older and the younger drivers.
I
don't know if my heart can help it.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, it's a rough one.
But so but some people might be thinking that we're trying to be popular.
They could be thinking that.
Yeah. So we're calling the kettle black, maybe.
I could see how one could perceive it as that. I can honestly tell you, anybody who knows me would vouch that I've never needed to be popular.
So for me, for a living, I do digital marketing, and I encourage small businesses to put themselves out there. I actually do podcasts right here for for businesses because I think it's important, if you're a small business, to put yourself out there.
Absolutely.
And I encourage my children, they would come here on the weekends. They have their own channels where they have their own business where they're putting themselves there. So I do encourage it. I also like getting out of my comfort zone. I don't really like this. Like if you would have called and say, hey, Rob, I can't make it today, I would have been okay.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that you were all in for the podcast on a regular basis. Because you did say that you wanted to be behind the camera.
Yeah, I like being behind the scenes. Yeah.
But I think that it's fun. Like, I think that there's a irrelevance to it. And I don't think it's a popular thing. I think that
No, I think that's what makes it fun.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And I
it's
think
just
that there's no
stress. I don't even care if anybody watches.
me neither.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, if it, like we said, if it ended tomorrow, like this actually, what many people don't realize is that this was born out of a podcast about the mall.
Right.
Two people just having a conversation, and then a mutual interest in the Board of Education,
Right.
and wanting to give people an opportunity to know who's running. And
Right.
really, that's quite frankly where it came from. It's totally volunteer. And
Yeah.
people seem to think both of us have different angles
Yeah.
for different reasons, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
There's no angle here. I like to talk. I was called precocious by Miss Shannon at McGinnis School, which is now Tover Links on the corner of Dunham's Corner Road and Hardenberg. And I thought she meant it as a compliment, and she did not mean it as a compliment. My mother told me when I came home. So I like to talk, and I'm very interested, and I'm really ADHD. So I need to fill my dopamine. Like I need my dopamine fixes.
Right.
And this, to me, is an amazing dopamine fix.
I'm definitely have a dopamine issue, like
Yeah.
clinically probably.
Me too.
Like even with the stats, I'm finally getting away of looking at how many visits we get on the website.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
paying
you
attention.
said
It's more of a once a week
he was
thing.
a little bit obsessive in the beginning.
Yeah, it was like 10,000 hits. Because
were.
what was always
You were.
exciting about the hits, it was because I felt like I was always writing and putting out content that I liked.
But now you were validated that somebody else was
and other people were interested in it, and but I always thought I did have a knack for that.
Yeah,
right.
you know,
I always had a
right.
knack where the pulse of the community is, and I know when I'm writing a certain blog post that is getting 10,000 views. Like I know the number, like right there, because I have and I expect our elected officials to have a pulse of the community a little better instead of gaslighting everybody.
Wow.
To actually have a pulse. Like there's nothing wrong with saying, look, it sucks, it's brutal, and I'm sorry.
This is where it's interesting. This is where a lot of our conversations really stray, because I'm not a political person really at all, and that's what a lot of people don't realize about me. I call myself a citizen without a party.
Right.
So I'm sort of floating in the air right now, and we have very interesting back and forth conversations, and I think that's part of what makes us interesting and how we come from very different perspectives.
Sure.
But we allow each other space to explain how we feel and and we have a growth mindset, which I do find is very lacking in a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely.
That growth mindset that,
yeah.
You have this image of somebody and that's it. And it's written in stone. And it may not always be an image that was born from you directly. It could be from somebody else said to you or had an experience with somebody. And I think that I pride myself on somebody who judges people based on my direct interaction with them and how that landed, and not BS that other people try to spread. That's where the no drama comes for me.
Right. No, same here. I mean, I don't even like people telling me that you're not going to like this movie. I don't even like people telling me that you're going to like this movie.
I don't either, because I don't even want, or you're going to like the book better, or the book is better than the movie, so don't see this first. See this first.
Don't tell me what to do.
Right. I don't like that either. Give me my mind clear of anybody else's judgment, and I'll make my judgment for myself. I feel the exact same way. That's very interesting. We never talked about that, by the way.
Yeah. And one thing Rachel does is I learned a while ago, one of the words she said, it was like our first disagreement. She goes, "Now you're
giving my secrets away. Now people are going to look for it on social media." It
was during text, so the tone of voice I'm giving is this how I read it in text. She goes, "Oh, that's interesting." And what I find a lot of women do to men, they don't use the word interesting. They'll say, "I'm a little disappointed in you."
You're comparing my interesting to disappointed?
That's how I took it, that you were disappointed about something.
No, that's not how, but you learned that's not what it means.
Right.
It just means that I may not agree with you necessarily.
That's
an interesting point, or...
But you really, no, it's more like, I take it like, that, because you say it two different ways, and we always joke in a good way or a bad way. The bad way is like, it's a hint of disappointment. It's a hint. There's a hint of I thought you were a little better than that or smarter than that.
Well, you know what? Okay, all right.
Yeah, a little bit, not in a negative way.
Well,
But I mean,
you're saying sometimes.
I mean, not in an offensive way.
Okay.
Like I'm not
I try
offended.
not to offend
Yeah.
people. I
Yeah.
really
You go,
try.
she'll go, that's interesting.
I do try very hard not to. I really try to live my truths. I do. I don't like to be a hypocrite.
But I
really,
told her,
I don't want to be held on a really high pedestal because that's a long way down. It's it's a very hard fall from very high. So I will never, by any stretch of the imagination, claim to be perfect.
So if you know Rachel, make fun of her every time she says that. Because I told her after I told her that that you're going to keep catching yourself.
And I do. And now I make sure I clarify whether or not it's in a good way or in a bad way. Not in a good way or in a good way.
Yeah.
I do. I have to clarify. It's okay.
Yeah. So
in a bad way.
Unbelievable.
I used to, my friends used to laugh. I do have, my students call them botanicisms, actually. And I had a colleague who used to say that all the time. I would say, now here's the thing. Mm-hmm. So I must have moved on from now here's the thing to interesting. Yeah. I guess, do you have sayings that you call?
Oh, you got to tell me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever really paid attention to, like, nothing's caught my eye that it's been like a repeat thing.
If you're rambling, I might just say, if people are rambling, I say, oh God, like, oh God. And, like, I say that. So.
So then I guess I had never heard that. So that means that I'm in the clear for the rambling. I ramble. I do ramble. Yeah. I also think that I'm hard of hearing. So we are rambling right now.
Yes.
Yes, but, we are. So maybe we'll say goodbye to our listeners for the day.
But thanks for stopping by, everybody. And we'll...
This was fun. Thank you. We hope to see you back here the next time we decide to talk out loud. And you can experience this craziness yourself.
Have a good day, everyone.